We just bottled a batch of kombucha, and it's time to keep the circle going and brew another batch. In my jar here where I keep my SCOBY, or symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, I left about 10% of the liquid from the previous batch in there, and that acidity will help get the next batch off to a good start. My next batch here, I have 1.5 gallons of water, and I'm boiling it or simmering it at least for about 10 minutes, getting off any chlorine. Also, I want to make sure I have a good non-reactive pot. This one's stainless steel. Enamelware also works great. I'm going to add to that 2 cups of sugar. My general rule of thumb that has worked out really well for me is 1/3 cup per quart. So I have 1.5 gallons, which is 6 quarts. And so that would be 6/3 cup, or 2 cups of water. I will add the sugar to the pot, and then shortly after I'll add the tea. Any kind of tea that is true tea works for kombucha. It has to be Camellia sinensis, so green tea, oolong tea, black tea, they're all made from the same plant, and those will all feed your culture. There's no set amount of how much tea you have to add. The more the better, I say. So I'm adding my sugar. I'm going to turn off the heat. That'll all dissolve in there. And then I'm just going to throw a handful of tea in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cool down all the way to room temperature, and then I'll add it to my jar here. Yeast dies at 138 degrees, so I don't want to add that yet because that will kill the culture. And then once it's cooled, you add it to your jar, and then you want to keep this stored at room temperature-ish. And after a few days, taste it and see if it's a flavor you like. If you want it to be more acidic, let it keep going. If you like it sweet, do a shorter fermentation. You want to bottle it when it's a little sweeter than you like it, because it will continue to ferment in the bottle. I'm also going to cover this with, in this case I have an apron, but cheesecloth, a paper towel, or a regular towel works, because you want the culture to breathe, but you want to keep the fruit flies out.